Yo, what's up, Firekeeper? You don't see the Twitch stream? Okay, thanks. Yeah, you're right. Failed to connect to the server. Fucking OBS, man. Good thing you're here. Thank you, guys. There you go. Now it should work. Thanks for the heads up. Boy, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. What's up, Mozzarella? Yo, what's up, Gold Mask? We can do it from here. Yo, Steve. Boy, yo, what's up, Ungun? How you doing, man? Are you gonna get fog walled? We are. Yep. Yeah, Firekeeper, I don't know. Dude, I don't know what's up with FromSoft taking so long for Tarnished. Does it take that much time to to have 30 FPS on Switch? Man. Yo, Vale, how you doing, bro? Everyone has the same build versus Radon? Yeah, it's shield poking. Yeah, not a Tortoise armor at all. I made a vid about the Lords of the Fallen thing on Gun. Like what I thought about the trailer. Yo, Alluvial, good morning, dude. Thank you so much for the resub for 22, bro. Welcome back. It's a lot of damage from this guy. Actually, Spring Trap. Double. We needed that. Oh, this guy is... He knows it. He knows how to get around these shields. Won't really be able to block, I think. At least he doesn't have anywhere to go. Ooh. Be careful. Ring. was strange. Oh my god, dude, this guy is gonna get lucky. Stupid elevation, dude, what the fuck? What I wanted to go for today is, you know, last stream trying out the hand axe with the parry. It felt, felt fun to parry people, so I wanted to go for it again. Yo, Vale, thanks for the Prime for 67 months, bro. Thanks a lot, man. So today, instead of like parrying with the hand axe with like R1, you know, into parry, I was thinking, what if I do shield poke into parry? Does that work? I'm not necessarily going to stick with that, but I just want to see if it works. I think though for shield poking, people are a little more reluctant to attack into it, so not sure that's going to be as good as hand axe. I actually did see the PlayStation State of Play. Not interested in anything. That's why I didn't stream it. I wasn't expecting anything either. New Resident Evil looks good, not gonna lie. Well, I'm sure for people who like it, it's great, but I'm not into that sort of stuff. Leon! Leon! Save me, Leon! See? Resident Evil fan over here. There we go, he's by himself. Where are we going? Or aborting the project. And that's the thing, like, shields are so oppressive that... Like, it's not like the hand axe where... Well, actually, hand axe also had the shield. He's just running. Oh, he's low HP. Let's get this over with. Yo, what's up, Isham? How you doing, man? Sounds like you played Resident Evil 4? No, I didn't, dude. I swear to God. Gotta remember to set up parry. Well, this guy wouldn't attack back, so... But yeah, I do have to remember to set up parry, though. It's the simple stuff, guys, you know? Maybe they want to promote it along the movie? No way, dude. That's... Isn't the movie, like, years away? Like... I doubt that. Like, that's way too far. I mean, it was supposed to come out, like... You know, like, fucking... What was it, end of last year? Oh, there's 3 of them. This one, this one. Oh. God damn it, dude. I need fucking eyes all around my head. Spammed everywhere. over with. Alright, what about you? He's not gonna attack back into me, he's just been spamming R2 the whole time. Yeah, he's just gonna panic roll. His friend has been fighting the boss for him. Well, the two others have been doing nothing. When we came in there was only this guy fighting the boss. The movie isn't not even fully written yet, doesn't even have a script. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's way too far off for Tarnished Edition to be scheduled with the movie. To me, that doesn't make sense. Again, the way FromSoft does things, it's very self-explanatory. Like, they stagger their releases to constantly have a stream of income. So, you know, like, end of last year, we had the Nightreign DLC. Now, beginning of this year is Tarnished Edition, whether it was supposed to be, you know, like February or, you know, whatever. Like, whatever they do, we're gonna have something at the beginning of this year, and it's likely gonna be Tarnished Edition. You don't know anymore with them? Well, I can tell you that much. Like, FromSoft, you know, is gonna do their thing, but at the end of the day, they're still managed as a company, and, you know, like, there's they have quarters to reports, and Kadokawa has investors like, you know, any other company. And the way we've seen over the years is they always have like a stream of income twice a year at least, spread it out over the, you know, over the year. So usually they have something at the beginning, something at the end, and it has not really changed as far as I can remember. Someone should help Castle with Fire Giant. Castle, let me go help you. Where are you at? Are you in front of Fire Giant right now? Oh, this is is this a dead end? Okay, never mind. I can just do that. Have a blue even. I my input there. Okay. I don't think I can set up Bury the Dagger though. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. At least we're here. Not the worst thing. We're not gonna parry these ultras. Oh, come on, dude. Sleep. No sleep. I don't know if he's latent or... Yeah, okay. It's the same fucking story again. Get out of there. Fucking... Game has been so laggy recently. Like, I don't even think that's them, that's the thing. Like, it's just the game being so fucking laggy. Happens every stream now. I've heard a lot of people having the same issue. We're not going to be able to parry the Colossals. You know what? Let's play the same game as them. Colossal them back. Alright, should be good. Yo, Castle, thanks for the Prime resub for 57, bro. Appreciated. Coming. All right, gonna be waiting. I don't think the lance with the shield poke fishing for parries is as good as the hand axe fishing for parries. It just doesn't really feel like it. Yo, Kick, thank you so much for the donation, dude. Been watching every video of yours for like a whole year now. Thanks for the high-level PvP content and the fun moments. Thank you so much, dude. Holy shit. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. Oh yeah, we're waiting for them to come down, for those wondering what I'm doing. What about Halberd, Perry? I don't like Halberd either, though. Like, I think in general, I'm also starting to... I'm starting to prefer, like, Curved Greatsword over Halberd. What the fuck, dude? All that waiting just for him to misjudge his jump and just jump too early. It's just a reminder that sometimes all you have to do is stay alive and they'll find a way to die on their own. Gonna go save Castle? Oh yeah, that's right. Castle, you had Fire Giant? Where's Fire Giant again? There it is. Alright, Castle, are you 125, Castle? Password 99. I'm gonna put my my sign of the grace. Don't forget, Castle, to use the fur calling finger remedy to summon me. Forgot what the Fire Giant is weak against. I have gonna go with that. Probably gonna go with something like that, and then poison the boss real quick. Poison the boss, we can go and go with that. What bonfire is that? Come on, bro. It's the bonfire closest to the boss, dude. It's called Foot of the Forge. I mean, I'm sure you at least have the fucking this one right there. So here's the plan. I'm gonna poison the buff, the boss. I'm gonna poison the boss, actually. I'm gonna poison the boss, and then after that, I'm gonna do damage with the warp tax. Come on, Castle, what the fuck are you doing? Just move to this fucking side of grace, dude. It doesn't take that long. It literally takes like 15 seconds. Actually, let's count it. Okay, let's let me pull up a timer here. Go toward the church, and I'm gonna start at the 30-second mark. Here, alright, go. Do that. See how much time it takes to go from this to the church. Not even sure I'm going the right way. Okay, I am. Are we gonna make it in 15 seconds? Oh, it's gonna be tight. Maybe I was wrong, Castle. Maybe it takes 20 seconds. Yeah, 15-second mark right now. 20 seconds. 25. There you go. So actually it takes 30 seconds. Oh, on horse, that's right, Castle, the horse. Alright, let's restart the timer. We'll do that again. Alright, start the timer. Alright, come on, Castle. There's no excuse for this one. Okay, yeah, it does take 15 seconds. Or like, actually, was it 15? I think it took like 20 seconds. Alright, Castle, you summoning, or what are you doing there? And then for bosses, you want to have this, and you don't actually need like that much poise for the boss either. Fucking Castle, dude. Takes him forever to do basic things. Yo, Odium, thanks for the resub. Oh, look at him with the fucking moon veil. And look at his pants and everything. Alright, let's do this. Oh, rare fucking PvE stream. Actually, I said that I would poison the boss. I don't even need to use this thing. I could just use some fucking rot pots, which is what I think I'm going to be doing. Well, it's too late now anyway. Alright. No rot pots. Well played, Castle. You played well. Alright, go back to what we were doing. Okay, you know what? Let's try... We talked about it last stream. Let's try... Let's try CGS off axe. I think for this one, I think I'm gonna put BHS though. Thanks for thanks for the gifted, Castle. I appreciate it. You know, don't hesitate if you have another boss to beat. Always fun to carry scrubs, you know? The only boss I'm not gonna help you with is Oralu because you've already mastered it. I remember you you completely annihilated Oralu, like you know his every move, so you don't need my help for this one. For this one, what do we want for this? I think we want this for extra flame strike. You've been preferring CGS over HAL? Well, not necessarily in this setup in particular, because I haven't really played this setup much, but like in general, as far as like quick swapping, because you know, like my inventory is made to quick swap to well, I mean, I can't really show it here, but it's made to quick swap to Commander Standard, and I've had more success quick swapping to Freya over quick swapping to Commander Standard. So I'm kind of curious to see like how it plays to use CGS hand axe over halberd, and the same type of like, you know, you're going for the same thing ultimately, right? Like you have your this, you have your, instead of the halberd running, you have the CGS running, and then, you know, like CGS running either into the hand axe or either into the flame strike. We'll see. Even with the range difference, I think the issue is just with halberd, like the normal R1s are very difficult to throw out, because it's very, very easy. Like even if you are very good at free aiming, the moment you fight a good player, like they'll walk around your halberd at some point during the fights. There's no doubt about that. So CGS kind of, it makes it so that they don't have any like strafing play basically. At least not nearly as much as with the halberd. I'm not saying that CGS is better than halberd hand axe, but I want to see for myself like how they compare. Bro, stop going back and forth. Just stop moving. Oh my god, he keeps like Right, keeps moving the right way. This guy's a professional. There you go, finally. Oh my god, that's just fluky. Let's not get fluke here. Just realized we have no pots either. It's a bad spot for me. I can't throw my pots. Alright, let's just... We can't really fight in small corridors like that. Like, you just have to Hyper Armor Bulldoze, and he had the Hyper Armor priority there with his Ash. Oh, you know, let's just do a few trades and get it over with. Commander Standard is useful against Light Roll. Even against Light Roll, like, I think over time, like, we just learned that, you know, with Light Roll, you just Pata and, you know, get it over with. It's not even, like, there's no point in playing fancy against Light Roll. It's just you permanently switch to Pata, kill them, and then move on. That's how I see it. It's not Pata, but Light Roll just prevents most weapons from really ever landing a hit if they, you know, if they know how to use their Light Roll properly. What's most dangerous about Light Roll is when someone knows exactly what they can panic roll and what they can't panic roll. And so they panic roll stuff that they know timing becomes irrelevant because their roll distance is going to carry them. And then they actually time their roll against attacks that are reactable and go far enough to catch them. Like, for instance, they're not going to panic roll like a lance jumping attack or halberd running attack because they know it's going to catch them, and these attacks are still slow enough to be easily reactable. But when it comes to Pata, you know, like little Pata stutter step, that's much harder to reaction roll. You made a samurai for roleplay? Yeah, so you're gonna need to make a new character for Tarnished. We're gonna have these new classes, so it's fine if you play samurai right now, to be honest. Because no matter if you would have made a vagabond or a hero, they're going to be suboptimal as soon as Tarnished comes out anyway. So whether you make a samurai now or a vagabond doesn't actually change anything. We're all going to need that new heavy knight. I wasn't sure. Trying to hit both, but I hit none. Oh, he's aimed at the yellow. Ow. The connection these days is nasty, guys. I'm telling you. It's really fucking nasty. Might explode here. Oh my god. Alright, it's just two-handed. Oh. Holy shit, dude. It's been like that though recently, like against pretty much everyone. I don't know if it's the game that's struggling, if it has anything to do with the PlayStation, if it's an ISP provider. I don't think it's me because, you know, stream is fine, you know. Oh, unless you guys are telling me that stream is not fine. But it's been pretty bad recently, and I don't think that's anyone's fault. Now it's been unstable on PC as well this week. So that's probably like an ISP thing like Cloudflare or something like that. She's fine, so are you. Yeah, that's the thing, right, with this game. Like, you see so many people lagging that you get gaslit into thinking like that your connection is not okay. Whereas it's not that at all. It's everyone else, you know. Like, unironically, that's what happens. That's like a perfect... That's why I unlocked that. I wanted to get that perfect... There you go. That perfect rollback stab punish. If I did that locked on, I would not have gotten it. Because the latency was too high to stay locked on to get that. And you had to do it Dark Souls 3 style. Dark Souls 3, if you ever wanted to get these sort of backstabs, you really needed to angle it, like, unlock, like, big time. I think I should do that more, even in this game, just to guarantee it. Like, have it work, like, more often. You see so many kills if I just harpoon them. You know, harpoon is great when you have no other way to reach them. But harpoon is a bad play if you can chase them down, because harpoon is gonna miss a lot of times. Hey! Okay, you got two? Alright. Gonna wait for another one. It's like harpoon is unreliable. It's great when you get it. Like, for instance, if I was to get... I had an opportunity to get a finisher on, like, let's say on this guy at this distance. It would be worth it to go for a harpoon there, because there's no way I'm gonna hit him with anything in enough, like in a short enough amount of time to finish him. So like, even if I switch to Great Bow or I pull out Bone Bow, my projectile is not gonna have time to reach him. So the only way that it makes sense to finish him is either an harpoon or throwing a pot. But throwing a pot is even slower than an harpoon. So harpoon becomes the optimal strat in this situation at this distance. But if they're close to me, it's pointless to go for harpoon, because you have a, you know, let's say you have a 50-50 chance of missing. If you miss, you just missed your kill, whereas if you chase them down, you know, you basically like have a much higher chance of guaranteeing your kill. I think Margin summoned the Rando again. Alright, Tony, what do you got? This fucking dude has no fucking HP. Well, I guess it is what it is. Alright, let's just fight then. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to set up 2's margin with randoms. Like, if you have, like, a friend that, you know, you're playing with, maybe it's worth it, but I have to get my shield ring. There you go. Oh! What the fuck? Weird. Not sure anymore about his range because that first hit would not have landed. Right now I'm regenning my my shield tally. There you go. And after that, I wasn't sure if I was gonna go for the BS, but it's too risky. I can trade that, so I don't mind going for it. I can roll that. Take that. I didn't fucking react in time. I'm almost getting fluked here. The dude hit me twice. Or like, you know, like 3 times the whole fight. 2 of these attacks took out like, you know, 2/3 of my health. It's pretty wild how broken the red and blue tier stone is. You know, you can outplay someone for the whole fight. They just hit, you know, hit you twice, or actually if they hit you 3 times in red and blue, you might be dead, even if you almost were flawlessing. To be fair, I think he wins that matchup. If he played that properly, I think Lance beats this setup I'm using, but you know, I just have to play passive. You find off-axe easier to react than Trusting Sword, to be honest? Yeah, it's weird because technically hand axe is supposed to be faster, although, you know, like just the way the game works, trusting attacks have the hitbox like instantly appear in front. So you really get, like when an attack, let's say, is 14 frame, you do land the hit at 14 frames, whereas, you know, if the hand axe was 13 frames, well, the startup starts like at the, you know, like while your axe is like going down like to the left, so like by the time it goes in front of you, you're reaching that 14 frames, and so you basically both hit at 14 frames even though one starts at 13, let's say. I don't know if these are the exact frames, but the idea is basically that. But like you have to dead angle if you want to hit at the earliest frames with the axe. Where is he? Just heard the... oh, there he is. We alone here? There we are. I missed that. Oh, come on, that's a BS. Sure about that. Be great sword in. Power of Viper Armor, guys. So which boss are you at right now? How good or bad would you rank Sword and Board for duels? Honestly, it's not that as bad as people make it out to be. Like, with Sword and Board, you still have a setup where you break a lot of Viper Armor with the R2. You know, like, you have access to Flame Strike, you have access to Sword Dance, like, 2 top Ash of Wars. You have access to an easy parry. Obviously, it doesn't have, like, winning matchups against most of the meta, but for enough meta, like, I think people underestimate how good of a setup it is. Like, it's really not as bad as people make it out to be in duels, right? In Invasion, it doesn't really do enough damage, so you're really looking at purely an Ash of War stick with a parry fish type of weapon, but like, you know, it gets overshadowed by Board and Wakazashi, really. Sure. I heard some lightning. I thought he was attacking me. Bro, why do you throw a knife there? I was just waiting for it. Oh, that's the host? I thought the invasion was over. Bro, I thought the invasion was over, so I just let the yellow get hit, like, from the from behind by this guy. I thought it was funny, but I didn't even realize there was 3 of them. It was just funny. Horde and Milady is quite fun, in your opinion? I think Milady is a very fun weapon in general. I play with it a lot because I enjoy playing with it. It's not, well, honestly, I'm sure there's a way to, like, play with it in a skillful manner, but it's one of those weapons where it doesn't take a whole lot of skill to make Milady, like, very strong and difficult to play around. Like, it's, let's say Milady is a strong noob weapon. Even though it's a fun weapon and everything, like, it doesn't take a lot of effort for it to be dangerous. Yeah, it's kind of mashy. Like, you could throw out any attack and you might get a roll catch, basically. Like, just the jumping R2s, like, if you roll, like, slightly wrong, it's still gonna catch you, and it's not even a mix-up of any kind. I think we might have to respawn here. There you go. Alright, take out this one now. I'm surprised I poised that. Oh, that's because it's one-handed. That's fine. But, like, for instance, I've never seen, like, I feel like, as far as Milady gameplay, like, you know, I haven't really watched a lot of players play with it, but I feel like Milady has so much potential to really, like, utilize the crouch attack a lot, because that crouch attack is very strong, and I rarely see it used like at all on Milady. So I feel like there's probably like some skill ceiling there of like utilizing that crouch attack properly in the right situations. The issue with the crouch, you know, like with the straight sword, is that you lose priority after you land the crouch. So against most things, it's you don't throw out that crouch because it puts you in a bad spot, so to speak. But like, for instance, everyone approaches, you know, fighting with Milady, or like if you were to use Milady, like everyone approaches fight like, you know, like that, or or you open up the fight with the sword dance like from neutral, or you like outspace with the R2, but no one like whiff punishes with that or like mix-ups with that, you know what I mean? But that crouch is pretty good, honestly. Like you can definitely do stuff with it. It's just that, again, it doesn't have a lot of stun, so after you land the hit, sometimes it's not worth it. Pretty sure Milady is banned in competition, so you don't really see it. What was I using here? Yeah, that crouch is pretty fast. What's up, Green? Why is Milady banned? It's just a very oppressive weapon, but don't ask me why they ban stuff. I'm not the one who gets to decide. But my guess would be that it's a very gimmicky weapon that gets very good result without like the player having to be very good, I think. That would be my guess, but you know, to me that's still not a good reason to ban it, but I think that would probably be like part of their reasoning. They would probably have like some, you know, like jumping attack is too strong or stuff like that. I don't know what their reason is, but probably something like that. Sounds like your type of weapon. Yeah, you'd love it, Castle. I think it's a fun weapon though. Like, what's fun? I think what the reason why Milady is so much fun is that you're not stuck only going for one attack. Like, you can decide to throw out a bunch of different attacks, and it's not a bad idea to use all these different attacks on Milady. I say all these different attacks. It's not true for every attack, but like, you know, like after you land a hit, you can decide, okay, I'm gonna do the follow-up, or like, do that, or like, okay, I'm gonna do the R2. Oh my god, the lag sometimes is nasty. Let's go toward you, buddy. Hit there. Fine. Oh, yeah, there's my hit. Is the game shitting itself? Again, I think, yeah, that was a hit. Man, the game is wild. So unfortunate. Oh my god. It's fucking... It's so... The lag is so bad that it's distracting. What the fuck, dude? there. That's a hit. Yeah, he just lag rolled it. And that really makes the game like completely pointless when it's laggy like that. Let's just end this. Oh. I think it's the Phantom that's lagging more than the host, though. Backstab, but he's too laggy to get that. There's a hit, yeah. The hit. Oh. Alright, it really does make the game pointless, really. I think, for shitnet like that, I'm gonna switch to Dueling Shield. When the game doesn't make sense, like, it's just completely pointless. I'm gonna go down. I think they went up the bridge, I had to guess. We're gonna have to play this slow because we're just out of everything. I don't want to use my I don't want to use this yet. I don't want to use the Divine Blessing yet, I mean. Let's do this. Try this. That's my my pot there. That's why you use Dueling Shield here. Like, the game is pointless at this shit connection. It's pointless to even attempt to finish him, too. I think he's still low, though. See, there you go. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Completely unplayable. Yo, Jordan, thank you so much for the 1 year resub, dude. Thank you so much, man. Love to see a build centered around the honest single Naginata. I know it's far from meta, but the moveset is fun. Thanks for all the content. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm planning on, when Tarnished Edition drop, I want to make like a bunch of new characters, bunch of new builds, and I want them to be like, unlike what I'm doing now where I'm just grabbing a weapon and playing with it, I want to make like dedicated builds for the streams and for the weapons, aka like, instead of just, you know, if I feel like playing Power Stance Straight Sword here, like instead of grabbing like two instead of grabbing like two long swords on strength build, like if I was to use like PSSS in the stream, I'd rather have it be like a dedicated like Fate PSSS that does a bazillion damage, like completely optimized, and like truly see the extent of the PSSS damage that way. Because when I play with PSSS with this, it's not representative of what PSSS can do, because the damage on this is completely subpar. Like strength builds are not, like, they're not great for Power Stance Straight Sword, for instance. Same with the Nagakiba. Or did you say Nagakiba or Naginata? Oh, you said Naginata. Well, actually, Naginata, let's see here. One, actually. Should be here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, let's grab one with you know what? Let's grab one cold. Let's grab one with probably Storm Assault is not a bad idea. Sword Dance actually interesting too. Probably has the slow one though. You want one with BHS for escape purposes. Holy shit, how many BHS? Storm Stomp's not a bad idea, I guess. What's the R2 on Nagi again? Forgot. Okay, no, it's not gonna combo with the Storm Stomp. What else could we have on this? I mean, Flame Strike is the obvious one, but... Trying to think here, like, which Ash of War makes the most sense with this? I think the thing here will want to, we will want to have this. There you go. Okay, that way we can wield it. But to be honest, what's the... I don't know if fire is really worth it here. I feel like the Storm Assault one is probably going to be our best bet, and we're going to be like fishing for Storm Assault, but... Looking at this, you know what? Go Piercing Fang, fuck it. Alright, let's try that out. Jumping attack is not bad. Is Spike not gonna be better? Yeah, but the guy asked for Naginata, so... I'm not sure here. You know what? Let's drink that right away. As the lat with the VHS thingy. Fat rolling if I do that? No. Still not good damage. Too high. Ate my input. I actually drank an Estus there. Just bad. I mean, the lag really makes this unplayable, honestly. Because this does very low damage. We want to frost them first because the damage is too shit. Borderline. Insane. We can kill him with a pot, that'd be great. He's rolling toward the corner. Okay, let's off with that. We're aborting the project. We don't want to get cornered here. We have to be careful about the bleed and the status. These guys are really bad, but they're latent, and this weapon really sucks. Almost have to pray that they walk into what I'm doing. Holy fucking shit, net. Am I out of everything? I think I might be. I'm not. I'll have this. Alright, let's take away that garbage ass weapon that is not good at literally anything. And their type of latency, I'm thinking we go for the one shot. Okay, we'll kill the host. But the host, though, we can switch back to the garbage weapon. He's by himself. It's gonna be more doable to do that. Okay, just Fog's Wall. But yeah, like two-handed Naginata is just too shit for invasions. Like you could make it work in a 1v1 because you can pick your shots, but against multiple people, like weapons like that just don't work. Like the way to, if you want to use Naginata against multiple people, like you use two of them, you know, like on a bleed build and double spear bleed. Like basically that's your play. Because it just doesn't do enough damage. And the thing with that is, the running R1 is bad. Running R2 is decent, but it's not good. It's decent. Jumping R1 is good. Jumping R2 is bad. R1 is, unfortunately, even if it looks cool, it's bad. Follow-up R1 is decent. Your crouch attack is bad also, because it's very short and it's not that fast. And the damage is bad, so have a weapon that has bad and average qualities, basically. And so you're going to be relying on your Ash to be doing the damage. And even for your Ash, like, because the weapon has low damage, even your Ash is not going to do insane damage either. And even stuff like Piercing Fang, which usually can do wonders on stuff like greatswords. The reason why it does so well on greatswords is that you have the crouch attack to make you like mix up and respect the Piercing Fang. Whereas with this one, you really got nothing. And you also have hyper armor for the greatsword, so with the greatsword, you can get close to them, and they're gonna have to respect the R1s and the R2s. So that lets you Piercing Fang and have enough time to do that. With this one, if you get close to them, there's nothing that's stopping them from mashing into you. So the Piercing Fang doesn't really have good synergy here either. A weapon like that, like, really lacks, you know, it lacks something to be able to handle, like, multiple people. It's not a good weapon at fighting 3 people with. And again, if you want to fight 3 people with that, you know, bleed build, power stance, naginata, you're gonna have a much better time that way. With like Storm Stomp or BHS. Strength is so good it's actually bad for the game. I think that's completely false. Like the only thing that's too good and bad for the game is, like, you know, it's stuff like Dueling Shield and Trusting Sword and Blind Spot. That sort of stuff. But, you know, aside from that, like Green said, like, even magic builds, like all the builds, like, have very similar access to the same types of weapon, very similar damage, and some of them have unique tools that are very, very strong. And to be honest, like, if it was not for Trusting Sword, I don't think Strength build would be considered the best. Like, I believe that it's the only argument that you have for Strength build being the best is Trusting Sword or Clean Rot is best on Strength build, therefore Strength build is the best. That's the only argument I think there is. And when you're invading, your argument would be, well, Golem Great Bow, basically. Golem Great Bow, best invasion tools, therefore Strength is best. So, like, it's those two things that are like the silver lining. It's like Dex has some nasty ass tools that are quite broken too. And Fate build has the highest damage if you build properly. Yeah, but what about, like, magic build with gravity missile, star shower, and you still have BHS TS? Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just that the TS is better on strength, but, you know, other builds can still use it. And again, like you said, like, in my opinion, like, people don't, like, let's not say people, but good players don't really play with gravitational missile and star shower, because that shit is not that skillful and that rewarding, but it's super busted in a dueling environment. And even in invasion, like, gravitational missile is super strong. Like, I think when the DLC came out and we played with a gravitational missile build, I don't think we died playing with that magic build. And it was not even close either. Like, it was a complete wash. And it was like 3 people dying after 3 people dying. It's just a bunch of explosions constantly. It is ridiculously OP, honestly. But, you know, like, it's because not a lot of people play with magic builds. You don't see it used properly by good players. But it is super busted. And, you know, like, if you were playing smart with gravitational missile, you'd be throwing it out and then using it to protect you, and then, you know, you star shower after that. And then you threw another gravitational missile and that protects you from give you time to drink blue juice, and you just rinse and repeat whatever you're doing. I've seen Spades I've seen Spades play with that in the arena one time, and like, he was streaming it, And you really see like the full extent of the effect when someone understands how to use these things. It looks completely broken. We need a G magic build again. Yeah, for sure, dude. Like I said, you know, when Tarnished Edition drops, like I want to make multiple builds. Like, cause right now I'm stuck on strength, but like I want to have a Dex build, I want to have a Fate build, a Magic build, and I want to play with these things, but like optimize. You missed the optimized TS build? Dude, that shit would be so fucking busted right now. But the thing with the optimized thrusting sword build in a invasion duel type scenario where like you invade a quote-unquote duelist that's playing at first step, technically all they have to do is wait you out. You just wait all your buffs and then you're back to being weaker than them, basically. Even if no hits have been landed. That's the issue with the TS buffs. Alright, we're gonna give this another shot. Never mind, maybe not. These guys seem to be waiting for me here. Yeah. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Yeah. Okay, these guys are just scrubs. They're just like sticking right next to each other. And it looks like might be a cleared world. Oh, there's someone else in here though. So we're gonna have to find them. Oh, this is not dead here. There you go. Okay, and we have a teammate. Hopefully the teammate does not spawn at the other end of the world. How come you can't have those builds right now? I mean, I could, but I'll have to remake them. Because the new Tarnished edition is gonna make all of it pointless. I have to find that teammate. We don't know where he is. Okay, there he is, finally. Alright. Bro, now that it's 2v2, they're the one running. That's crazy. In fucking sane lock on, dude. Yellow right in front of me and it locks me to this guy. Save them. Easy picking. Hate my fucking run input. Okay. Insane fight. Go play, teammate. Like, you don't want to use two-handed Naginata here. You don't want to do that. Castle needs help again. Godskin Duo. Castle, are you at the Godskin Duo? Like, which side of grace are you at right now? I'm gonna wait for Castle to respawn. See where he's at. Okay, you're at Dragon Temple, closest bonfire. Let me see here. Dragon Temple. Wrong fucking thing. Dragon Temple, let's see. Alright, Castle. I'm gonna put my my sign down again. Same password, yeah. About the gank? No, we're beating the boss for Castle. Alright, Castle, let's go through this. Oh, there's another one here. Didn't remember that. What are you doing, Castle? I'm here to beat the boss for you. I don't think he understands that he can go toward the other fog gate, but... Alright. It doesn't matter. Probably should have decided that in advance. We got the attacks with this. Oh shit. Okay, let's just... Forgot the moves for these guys. Haven't played this game, the story in quite some time. Castle is just waiting here. There they are, my kukris. Okay. Not the cleanest one, but, you know, you just have to kill it. Okay, let's see here. Go back to this, and this here, this here. Actually, instead of Flame Strike here, why not Storm Stomp? Why do I not use Storm Stomp for this? Not really sure. Try this. Alright, let's do this. Tell me Bird Helm is good. Bird Helm is actually pretty good for its weight versus defense ratio. Like you can't look at just the defense, you have to look at the ratio, especially considering the ridiculous amount of points it gives. Like an helmet that gives that many points is worth way more than just the defense it gives. Alright, but you wouldn't use it in duels? It depends if your build is optimized around it. Like, it's a free 7 points. A free 7 points... 7 points is a lot, dude. Like, it really is. You wouldn't take the big lion over it? You would take the big lion. Oh, yeah, well... I mean, the big lion has, you know, good defense. 8 fucking points, which is crazy. You could definitely make an argument for the big lion being better, for sure. But yeah, Vale owns that helmet. You counter stats helmet with sleep crossbow. Yeah, that's the danger. Sleep crossbow definitely, like, if your build is like reliant on one of these helmet, like sleep crossbow will definitely abuse it. That's for sure. We're gonna have to respawn actually. Or sleep grease. Sleep grease is not so much of a counter because sleep grease is very slow to build up. Whereas sleep crossbow is quite nasty. Okay, there you go. And there you go, but... Still don't know how to reach them. Alright, one last respawn and then we're gonna back out. I don't know this map really, it's too intricate for me. Okay, well, it's gonna be a back out for this one. Also, I just realized for PvE, the kukris are actually amazing, but harpoon for PvP for sure. Oh, might be the same players as earlier, maybe? Oh, maybe not, I don't know. I think kukris are probably like the most underrated item for PvE in this entire game. They're so easy to get on a PvE playthrough, and they're so effective. Because they do decent damage and have like pretty decent bleed buildup. You keep the stagger meter on the enemies as well. It's just very good in general. I think they're very underused. Implion has no downside either. Yeah, that's why all the tryhards use it. It's 2 free points with amazing stats, no downside. Quite optimal. Yeah, but it is ugly, but to be fair, Greed, like, you're wearing fucking Lionel. Like, Lionel helmet is ugly as shit. I don't know which is ugliest, Lionel or Lion helmet. I much prefer Verdigris fashion. It's a decent compromise between like fashion and stats. Very good stats and still decent fashion, I think. Oh, look at you. They left you. They did it. Oh my god. Bro. We almost got fluked. We were about to kill him and then everything went to shit in a matter of seconds. What the fuck, dude? The phantom range sometimes is nasty. Okay, the host is by himself. Now we can really kill this guy. There you go. But we almost got fluked by the guy coming up behind us. That was nasty. Do you keep the effect? I forgot. Oh, yeah, you do. Same DC. We don't know if there's gonna be an Elden Ring 2 or not, dude. Like, it's... You shouldn't listen to, like... the speculating content creators and shit. Like, they don't know anything about what FromSoft plans or doesn't plan to do. Like, we don't know. Like, all we know is right now, all we know is that they are deep in development for their mainline game. And that their mainline game is not Duskblood. So... That's all we know, but we don't know if it's an Armored Core. We don't know if it's a Dark Souls 4. We don't know if it's Bloodborne 2. We don't know if it's King's Field Reboot. We don't know if it's Elden Ring 2. We don't know anything. I doubt it's Elden Ring 2 because they said that their next game was not going to be open world. But, like, it doesn't mean that Elden Ring 2 is not going to come and, like, further down the line. But we don't know what's their next game. All we know is that their mainline project is very advanced development-wise. And we're waiting for news about it. But don't expect Elden Ring 2 because they said in interviews that they're likely not going to make another open world game for their next title, so... Because it was a lot of work, overwhelmingly so. But that doesn't mean they're not going to revisit that in the future at some point. Do you have Moonveil? God. Go toward the PvE here. Oh, that was the other guy. And shit player goes down. Yeah, short-term Elden Ring Tarnished Edition and Duskblood probably mid-turn, and then after that it should be their mainline game. That should be pretty much what we have on the table here. Like, Duskblood is likely coming like holidays this year, like around Christmas, or beginning of next year. And then Tarnished should be like, you know, in the next... Technically, Tarnished could... like, technically that shit could come out at any moment. They could shadow drop it at any point, or we could wait another 2 months for it. Like, both are possible at this point. Okay, what do we have prior to that? I forgot. Oh yeah, this. I think I'd rather have this for this one. Or maybe this one so that I can swap the Great Bull. Like, to me, I think what I'm expecting the most for the big next Souls, or not Souls-like game, but from software game, like, I'm expecting them to... Ooh, it could be difficult here. Get out of there. I'm expecting more like a new IP, new title. We have to abort here, too dangerous. It's 2 down. That's 3 down, there you go. It's also possible that the next thing FromSoft is working on is an Armored Core project. Because historically, like, every time they released an Armored Core game, they would release, like, a sequel to that particular Armored Core game. Like, basically, like, you know, it was Armored Core, you know, Armored Core 2, and then, you know, like, a few spin-offs. Or, like, Armored Core 4, and then Armored Core 4.5, you know, and they have like specific names like Armored Core 4 Answer, or then you have Armored Core 5 and then 5.5, but the 5.5 was Armored Core Verdict Day. And so now you have like Armored Core 6, and you're probably gonna have like Armored Core 6.5, which would make sense as well because that's historically what they've been doing. And every time they make a 0.5 game like that sort of sequel, it's usually the exact same mechanics for the most part. They just basically add content to the game on top of what's already there. So, like, if you were making an AC or a robot in Armored Core 6, well, all the parts that are in Armored Core 6 are gonna be in Armored Core, like, 6.5 with double the parts. Like, you're gonna have, like, new parts as well. And then, like, you're gonna have a bunch of stuff that's gonna carry over, but it's gonna be a new campaign you know, new story, but like same mechanics, almost same everything basically. It's just like more maps, more parts, and more missions basically under a new game. Almost like a DLC, but it's not a DLC because it's still game size, but using the same mechanics and the same assets. Like no graphical or performance upgrade, anything like that. That's historically what they've done with the Armored Core franchise, but that doesn't mean that this is what they're going to do for Armored Core 6 though. You're not a fan of the stats helm in general? Yeah, me either. I don't like stats on pieces of armor because that just limits fashion for your character. I prefer the way Bloodborne handled like armors, whereas like armor and Bloodborne didn't matter nearly as much as like other games, and so you could basically pick any outfit that you wanted. I much prefer that, even though I was not like a big fan of the fashion in Bloodborne. I think it's still made sense. Oh, that reached. Oh. Oh, there you are. Oh my god, this game. What? Bro, did you guys see that? That's crazy. It respawned us from out of bounds, and then the host entered the fucking enemy. So we got basically the equivalent of like 2 loading screens back to back. Crazy stuff. I think it would be cool if you could separate armor from your stats. Yeah, basically like Transmog. It's funny because I've never actually played a game that had Transmog, and I hear so much about it, so I don't actually know if it's a good or a bad thing, but that certainly sounds appealing. The only issue is that in these games, judging what your opponent has for armor, is kind of part of like your decision process when it comes to attacking, right? Because you're like, oh, okay, this guy has full bull goat, therefore he's not like he's going to be able to tank all of these attacks, or okay, this guy is very lightly armored, therefore like I'm going to be able to roll catch him with claws and it's going to stun him every time, right? So there's always that's going to be like the counter argument. But with that being said, personally, despite that counter argument, I'd still prefer to just be able to have the fashion I want. I'd still prefer that. But at this point, I think it's fair to say that it's a matter of preference, because there's two strong arguments for both cases, I think. I think he means having additional gear for the stats boost. Yeah, that would be a good thing. But you're like, just keep in mind, you're always going to be fighting with the casuals that, you know, the type of people that are like, oh, it's unrealistic to swing a big sword so fast, or, you know, like, oh, it's so unrealistic that your defense doesn't come from your armor. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of the PvE players that are going to argue that. Oh, never mind. Okay, he has this, which means I need this. My input. Man, this invasion would be so much easier. Oh my god, he saved him. That was a true combo. Invasion would be so much easier if I just picked a longer weapon. But, you know, that's kind of the fun here, like... Okay, I can't use that. Oh, it's actually toxic. Alright. What if I spam that? This guy plays like a randomizer. Like sometimes he just spams, you know, brain deadly, and then sometimes he just panic rolls out. You just have to guess. Issue is, you know, like fists just have very low recovery, so you can't really whiff punish it, and my weapon also doesn't have a lot of range, so you can't like just outspace it as much as you would want to. I think this invasion would have been much easier if I just used a weapon with some range. Like Great Spear there would have been much better, or even like Frost Gogs. Frost Gogs would probably have ended the invasion right away. Like, a lot of people ask me, like, oh, why don't you use this, or why don't you use that? But that's kind of the point, you know, like, game has been out for 4 years, like, you know what you can use to win this easily, but it gets boring after a while, you know, like, you want to try stuff, you know, use other weapons. So that's why I'm playing with this thing, not because it's necessarily good. While it is good, it's not good for every situation. One getting hit here. If Buddy was smart, he would go toward the other direction, but can't ask too much. That was my crouch attack that killed him. My animation did not even come out. Pretty crazy. It's like I did one crouch into another crouch, and then the startup from the second crouch like killed him almost instantly. But you didn't really see the animation. But yeah, I think we're all eager for the next mainline, you know, Souls-like game. I think everyone will agree with that. Like, we're all eager to know, like, what's next for FromSoft and what they're working on. Like, you know, is it Dark Souls 4? Is it a new franchise? What is it? I think everyone is eager, but I'm not really sure we're gonna get news about it until Duskblood is released, right? Maybe we will, I don't know. You never know, right? I think, guys, did we learn about Duskblood before Nightreign was out? I forgot. Did we learn about it before Nightreign? Not before Nightreign, but before Nightreign released? No? Nightreign was already out when they announced Duskblood? Only got announced April last year? Okay, so... Yeah, okay, so that means that we're probably gonna have to wait until Duskblood comes out before learning about the next thing, but I don't know, that feels like it would be very far away. And from what we read in interviews, like, they're very advanced on the development of the next project, next big project. And I mean, that makes sense, right? Because technically, they had a small team work on Nightreign, like a side project. They had another small team work on Duskblood, you know, Nintendo exclusive, and the main team, the Miyazaki special, the Miyazaki Long Dong Big Boy Massive Squad. They've been working on the next thing since I guess after the DLC. Well, yeah, I guess it's only been 2 years. I was about to say it's been 4 years since Elden Ring came out, but I forgot Shadow of the Erdtree took fucking 2 years. Ah, fuck, dude. Maybe we will only learn about the next game after Duskblood then. I guess that makes sense for the timeline. All Japanese devs suck in terms of work ethic? I don't know if I agree with that. Well, actually, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's in their culture to work very hard, no? Unless you mean that, you know, they treat employees as slave. Maybe that's what you meant. Because I know in the 2D animation world, it is the case. Like, they do treat employees as slave in Japan, like in the 2D animation industry. Yeah, the companies, not the work ethic. Yeah, because the work ethic, like, these people are very hard workers. It's in their culture. They don't, but they're very pragmatic. I'm not sure I'm following the answer. Like, they don't what? You get your point? I don't get your point. Because those are two different things. Like, because let's say, like, you know, if I look at studios in North America, like, I know for a fact that a lot of games that are made in North America fail miserably because the direction is just completely off. And so you have like a culture problem in NA, basically. Whereas, you know, the people are not necessarily like lazy workers. Like, a lot of people that work on these games in studios, like, they work overtime, you know. They work overtime plenty and they work constantly, and, you know, the artists are very good at what they do. Like, you can't look at Assassin's Creed, you know, or... Actually, I don't know... Well, I know some of the Assassin's Creed games were made by Ubisoft Montreal, for instance. You know, you can't look at that work and tell me the 3D models for that project are not, like, top-notch. You know what I mean? Like, the artists, they do good work, you know, the programmers, too. So, I don't know how it is in Japan, but I would assume it's pretty similar to here. Like, I don't really see why it would be different. The only difference would be the culture side, right? Like, we prefer the Japanese culture for the way they approach video games over the, you know, over the culture we have in NA, for instance. I mean, that's been pretty obvious. Like, recently, the most well-received games have been games that have come from Asian countries, right? Like, even China is entering that discussion. China that didn't really have a strong foothold in the gaming industry. Now with Wukong, it's like almost like a statement. Like, you know, oh, okay, like China's starting to make some good games now. Like, we need to pay attention to what they're making. But, like, who's at fault for you liking or disliking X or Y game? Most of the time, it's not the devs. Most of the time, it's not the devs. Most of the time, it's a leadership role of some capacity. Because again, the devs everywhere you go, whether it's in Asia or in North America, like, they're all super skilled. Like, I guarantee you that the devs are skilled. Like, the programmers know what they're doing, you know, like, the artists are stupid good. Oh, he's light rolling. This makes my weapon useless, therefore. I keep, bro, the timing on that always throws me off. I think Pada versus his weapon is definitely a very fair matchup. Like, yeah, Pada is definitely not overkill against this thing. This thing with blind spot can be quite annoying. Yeah, like Wolf is saying, like, you know, it doesn't matter, like, you know, which political side you're on. Like, I don't think, like, you know, politics don't really have a place in video games. I mean, you clearly see it because the response for politically leaning games have been quite negative thus far, so... I mean, it doesn't actually matter whether we think it's true or not. Like, the reality is, like, it performed badly, so... You know, it is how it is, and like you said, Japanese companies, for the most part, have just been doing their thing. They've not really changed, like, you don't... At least I'm not noticing it, but you don't really see, like, any political agenda in a game like Elden Ring, you know? Like, it's not like, there's nothing that's distracting you from the game. It's just not there. So that's one aspect that people really don't like in games for the most part. But that's not the reason why FromSoft is successful, don't get me wrong. But it's one thing that's going for them, basically. Because ultimately, like, politics are always very divisive. And so, like, you know, stuff like games, like entertainment, they're supposed to bring people together, not do the opposite. And that's why it doesn't have its place there. It's just that simple. Like, I personally, I don't mix myself in these discussions because I have friends that think in both direction, and I love them both. And quite frankly, I don't really care what they think. At the end of the day, like, you should be able to appreciate a person no matter, you know, no matter what they believe, as long as it's not, like, completely crazy. Okay, we were using this here. All right. Let's try this out. No, that's the wrong one. Let's use this one. Oh, what is this? Oh, we got a friend. What do you do there? I thought that was in dirt here. Oh, this guy's getting... Uh-oh. Yeah, he gave up there. I think he just let go the controller. They don't fumble with work ethics either, neither the ones with higher position, but the ones in the higher position are very pragmatic about those below them. In summary, shut up, do your job, don't contest, don't give anyone trouble. Yeah, you're right. At least that's what I heard. I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Actually, the moment where it's a bad thing, it's really only when your employees are... when the people that work there are starting to become unhappy, right? Like, if you have people that are unhappy at work, like, you can't really expect, like, the greatest work. Whereas if you have, like, happy employees, you can expect that, you know, they'll give a better result at what they do because they're happy doing it. I mean, that's how I see it. So no matter what approach they take, as long as the employees are happy. I say as long as the employees are happy, but, you know, it's not the whole story, right? Like, if the employees are happy and the games are shit, well, not everyone's actually happy, because the people who put money up front for the game, those guys are not happy, and these guys need to be happy too. They don't want to get spelled here. Got blocked by the hose. A lot of fields are just as demanding. Well, there's plenty of jobs that are very demanding. I missed the argument there, but I don't think anyone's making an argument against, like, X, Y, or job is easy or hard or whatever. Like, I'd argue, like, you know, I did some very artistic jobs and some very, like, physically demanding jobs. And some people are just more suited for one over the other. And it would be harder for them to do the other that they're not suited for. So that's what's great about society. We just have all kinds of people. No, I'm not playing on PS5. I'm playing on Switch 2 right now. I'm not playing on Tarnished Edition yet. This is a version of the base game on Switch 2. It's hooked up directly to the monitor, though. Like, I'm not playing in handheld mode. But that's also why you see a lot of people lagging in the stream. Like, unfortunately, even if I'm wired, like, I'm fighting a lot of people on Wi-Fi on Switch 2, so... You know, you have to be careful. A very bad platform, but I just love Nintendo so fucking much, I just can't stop playing on Switch 2. I personally think that Nintendo is the best gaming company, and I don't think it's even close. They have such amazing franchises like Pokemon and Zelda and Mario and Donkey Kong. I just love it so much. They're such good games. They really make me think when I play them, and don't shit on Donkey Kong. Zelda used to be good too. I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of good games. I just don't play it. Like, recently I played, I don't know if you're still here, Vale. What was the Zelda game that I told you about that I downloaded on my phone? Was it Ocarina of Time? I'm not good with the names. But I basically, like, played through it, for a few bosses. And, it was pretty fun. It's just that phones are not great to play games on. Nintendo 64. I forgot the name of it. Sword of something, maybe? Obviously I played on an emulator, guys. Like, when I say I played on my phone, like, obviously it's an emulator, but I forgot the name of the Zelda game. Let me look it up after this. It was 2D. Oh, come on. Bro. No attack. About to get Dragon Desync. Alright, let me look it up real quick. I'll give you the name. Oh yeah, Link to the Past. That was it. There you go. Thanks, Wolf. Yeah, A Link to the Past. That was it. Yeah, that was the game. Marvin, thank you so much for the sub, dude. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Link to the Past, and it was really freaking good, dude. Like, playing that, like, I could see, like, a lot of inspiration for, like, how this genre has developed over time. And I don't mean, like, 2D games. I mean, like, the whole, like, RPG with dungeon, enemies, traps, that sort of stuff. I feel like, as far as game design goes, the modern games should follow, like, more of a template of what A Link into the Past did, for, like, the way you lay out a dungeon, the way you approach traps, you know, the game pace, that sort of stuff. Like, a game like that, even if it's very old, and even if you might not like 2D games, as far as the design of everything around the game, like, the design is just superior for an old game like that than a lot of these modern games. Even my jump attack is pretty low range. Oh, he tanked it. Oh my god. Close. Oh my god. We can't... You can't sleep on the golem. Careful. I'm looking at the shadow and I see the... Yep. No, bush PvP. Call him again. No. Yeah. There you go. See, like, this was a time to use the harpoon. Because there was no way I was catching him from that distance. Ah, man, shit's funny. Newer Nintendo games are too infantile and generic. I think it's fine to have games for children. Like, there's no, you know... You need games for kids, for sure, but I will say that a lot of people that are older nowadays, a lot of them have money, more money than kids, and they play video games, and so you can actually take a franchise that was originally for kids, and these people are adults now, and you can absolutely make a game that used to be for kids for adults because the people that have grown up with this franchise still like the franchise. You know what I mean? You can definitely do that. Like, you could have a... you could have, like, a Zelda game that's a little more mature, right? It would be, like, a massive hit, even. It doesn't need to be, like, violent or anything like that, but... Like you said, that doesn't necessarily target children. Old Nintendo games were made for kids, and they're more challenging than most modern games. That's actually so true. That's what's funny. That's actually super true. You buying the new Pokemon Lego sets? Bro, do they make Pokemon Legos now? That's crazy. But, like, another reason why I tried this game is I was curious because the old Zelda games had such a good reputation, you know, a high reputation, and you always wonder with these old games, like, are people stuck in nostalgia? Like, are they just nostalgic and the games, you know, they were great for the time, but they don't really hold up today, or, you know, the standards were lower back then because there wasn't as much competition? What is it? And so when I picked it up and saw for myself, you can actually see that design-wise, decision-wise for the design, they are superior. There's no doubt about it. Like, design-wise, that old Zelda games really made me think of, like, the way FromSoft does level design. It's very similar. You don't really get other games that approach, like, game design the same way, like, give you tools like that, clever puzzles, and, like, games are afraid to make you think for what you're doing. Whereas, like, that old Zelda games was constantly that. It always made you think about how you should approach that. If you didn't think and you tried to fight a certain boss head on, the boss would punish you over and over until you thought and you realize, oh, okay, this is a puzzle, this is how I have to approach it. Games don't really do that much nowadays. It's very, very sparse. They don't make you think, they don't make you problem solve. And to an extent, maybe that's because people are starting to be numb. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe people don't want to problem solve anymore. They just want the power fantasy, turn their brain off and just mash one button and get a free victory. You know, maybe that's the case, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'd like to think that people are still people and they like to problem solve, like we're problem solving creatures. Like, quick, easy dopamine only goes so far, and you become numb to it very quickly. That's what I believe. But, you know, to each his own, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe we're just, fucking on the path to becoming closer and closer to a brainless fucking zombie. Just going to work every day, not thinking about what we're doing, not thinking about anything, just being there and just following what everyone else is doing. Maybe that's what we are. I don't know. I'd like to think it's not the case. I think that's worth a bow. You want to reach a large audience. From kind of leaned on that direction with Elden Ring and AC6, for instance. I think you're absolutely right, though. With like Elden Ring and AC6 are definitely more casualized games that FromSoft used to make. They're improved in a lot of regards. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, casualized doesn't mean that they're more brain dead in every way. Like, if anything, Elden Ring introduces more varied combat mechanic. And I would argue that's a good thing. Very good thing. But, you know, like, it's easier than ever to spam your way to victory in Elden Ring compared to previous Souls games. Like, for instance, back when I played Dark Souls 3 and invaded random people, rarely would I ever invade someone that was that clueless compared to the people I invade in Elden Ring. Like, you could be, like, end of the game in Elden Ring, and you're gonna fight someone that has no fucking idea of what they're doing. In Dark Souls 3, like, these people are forced to learn to get to that point in the game. Like, you don't beat half the game without learning a little bit about rolling, for instance. It just doesn't happen. Like, that's how I came to know who Asmongold was. I was, you know, he made a playthrough of Dark Souls 3. I didn't know who the guy was. And then I watched this playthrough, and I was so impressed at... The guy was basically the first person I had ever seen to be able to go through the game without learning anything. Like, he found a way to basically, like... It was before, like, spamming Endure against bosses was popular. He was basically using Vort's Hammer, and he was basically, like, chugging through attacks and just Endure spamming Vort's Hammer through attack. And I thought it was impressive at the time, because I had never seen anyone do that. Impressive for the wrong reasons, right? Like, how could you stay so bad and manage to beat the whole thing just by sheer, like, butting your head against the wall? On one hand, that's a good quality, but on the other hand, it says that you're not very smart as well, you know, like, no offense to the guy, but you know, to go back to the initial point, I thought Dark Souls 3 did a very good job at teaching players how to play the game. Like, you fight the first boss, and already right away, like, the first boss, like the Ludex Gundyr, it forces you to learn some mechanics right away. And I'll give you, like, an amazing example. I had a buddy who played Rainbow Six with me back when I played Rainbow Six competitively. That buddy was not was mainly like a shooter player, and he had never played a Souls game before. You know, I sold him on Dark Souls 3 basically, and he tried the game, booted up the game, and fought Gundyr. He was stuck on Gundyr for 5 hours, and he eventually dropped it and never touched the game again. He never managed to beat Ludex Gundyr. So even though this friend of mine was a shooting player, he was not the best player competitively, but he still was, you know, better than, you know, 99% of people. It's just that amongst the competitive player, he was not one of the better ones. That being said, he did not manage to beat Gundyr, even though he was a gamer. And then you contrast that I made my girlfriend try Dark Souls 3 at the time, and she beat Ludex Gundyr on her 5th try. And she's not, like... The games that she had played before were, like, Skyrim and Fallout. And, you know, like... Not necessarily the most skillful games, but... She was paying attention, she was thinking, and she learned what she had to do, and she learned roll timing in 5 fights, and eventually beat the boss. She learned the goal of the game. So if you don't think like my friend from Rainbow Six, and you think your skills are gonna carry you through the fucking boss, you're wrong. Because you don't have skills until you think. And then my girl had the complete opposite approach, very humble and approaching it like she was a total newbie and trying to think as hard as she could about what was the correct way to approach the situation. And she beat the boss in 5 tries, which is better than I think what I did on my very first playthrough of Dark Souls 3. So it just goes to show that Dark Souls 3 forced you to think. It forced you to approach the game in a problem-solving lens. And because of that, you know, the people who made it through that boss learned something. And it's like that for every boss and every challenge. And so once you get to like half the game of Dark Souls 3, you've learned a lot because the game forced you to get to like forced you to learn how to roll and to learn how the game works to get to that point. Like you were forced to do that. Now contrast that with Elden Ring. The number of people that I see that are like at Fire Giant, like, you know, sometimes I do co-op with these games. Like I put my sign down and let randoms summon me. And, you know, from invading, you also see the same types of people. Like, people are so bad. They're so bad. Like, you really feel like you are playing. Not with children, because children still have, like, you know, they still think more than that. You feel like you're playing with, like children that are like 3 years old. Like they don't quite understand like the world around them. That's what it feels like sometimes when you play with these people that are deep into the game. But the thing is, these people are not like all 3 years old. Like a lot of these people are grown-ups, and I don't know if they're numb to everything, but they don't seem to think about what they're doing, and they just get carried through the game because they summon people that beat the game for them, or, you know, they use the mimic tier, or, you know, they see a guide on YouTube and they're like, you know, you need to stack all this bleed and then you're gonna kill the boss instantly. Or, you know, like if you have this magic build, like you can throw that many spells from a distance and you're gonna beat the boss. And so these people just blindly like follow these ways of approaching the fights, and they never actually learn anything. They just butt their head against the wall until they get through it. Just like the example with Asmongold in Dark Souls 3, that's what most players do. And the initial conversation, it started from the premise of Elden Ring and Armored Core 6 are more casualized games. Well, in that sense, everything that I just told you to that point, it definitely proves that, you know, it proves that statement. That yes, it is indeed more casualized, because like you're seeing a lot of bad players that quite frankly don't seem to have to think to be able to get through the game. Therefore, the bar of entry to these games is a lot lower, despite Elden Ring having some new great mechanics, like, you know, like crouching, you know, more attacks, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was the little discussion. We don't seem to be able to invade from here anymore, so let's change area to invade from. You see the new viral AI model from China? No, I have not seen it. What is it called? It's not... Is it like a new version of DeepSeek, or is it something else? Seed Dance. Okay, I'll check it out after. It's for video? Okay, so it's okay, so it's video generation. All right. Hot take, blame the devs for putting mechanics and items that allow you to cheese. Sometimes, I like your comment, because sometimes, you know, as someone who's clearly very experienced with these games, sometimes I wonder if when FromSoft expands the studio, if they don't like hire new people that are like more like Redditors and casuals, that for them, like, they're good at what they do, meaning that, you know, they're good artists, good programmers, but they don't understand what they're doing. Like, you know, like when they introduced Bloodhound Step at launch, that thing looks cool and flashy. Like, for someone who doesn't know video game, they're like, oh, okay, that's super cool. Like, you know, flashy, like, cool dodge that, like, travels further. But because they don't think about what they're doing, there's consequences to adding an ability like that in the game, and very negative consequences. And so the old heads, like the veteran developers, the one that, you know, designed the way the halberd works, for instance, these guys are like, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea to have like an ash like that like for them, like they designed more the ashes that are like more akin to, let's say, you know, like the piercing fang and the double slash and that sort of stuff. Like they keep it more standard and things that are not like over the top. And sometimes I wonder if it's because of that we get stuff that's completely out of place. I didn't notice if... Okay, there you go. I was about to say I didn't notice if he crabbed up, so let me crab up. We want this here. Oh, there. I'm an idiot. I could have avoided that. Okay. We put this here, and this here. I'm gonna need to remake my alley inventory as well. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, that's undeserved, but clearly what he went for, even though it didn't actually make any sense. Let's try to not get fluked by the red and blue tier. Again, I was out of that. I feel like he had like 2 hits there where I feel like I didn't really deserve to get hit. But I don't think that's his fault. I think the connections recently have been very inconsistent. I don't think that's anyone's fault. The Lords of the Fallen devs are more into this kind of feedback, to be honest. Dude, speaking of Lords of the Fallen, I made like a vid recently because I saw their new gameplay trailer, and genuinely I felt like I liked what I saw in the new gameplay trailer. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be better than what FromSoft does. Like, you know, it's still Lords of the Fallen, but I liked what I saw, and I saw improvements. So at least that's that. But I was actually very surprised to see that most people were extremely negative about it. Like people on my channel, at least. Like, it was overwhelmingly negative. And I don't know. I felt like, even though I didn't really like the first one, I mean, you always want to give the... You always want to give it a shot, right? Like, you don't want to dismiss it. Especially in our situation where, like, I say we, but we, everyone watching, we all want From Software to have competition. Like, we don't want, like, FromSoft to be the only studio that's good at making Souls-like. Like, we want other studios to give it a shot and to make something that's good. And so when I see Lords of the Fallen 2, obviously I've not played it, I see an improved version of the first one, even if I didn't like the first one much. And I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Hopefully I like it, although, again, like, most of it is going to depend on whether or not they gave the proper attention to their networking, because they did not have the right networking for the first game. They were using some Unreal Engine 5... like, the host basically dictated the state of the world entirely, whereas it's supposed to be like client authoritative, they call it, where the player needs to have authority over what happens on their screen, basically. And so they were not doing that. So hopefully they address that. I don't really know if they did or not. If they didn't address that, their PvP is going to fail. Like, we can guarantee that without really having played the game. If they have not changed that, that's for sure. But if they did change it, then we can start having a discussion with them about balance and that sort of stuff, because the way the balance is for, let's say, a game like Lords of the Fallen 2, it's currently irrelevant, not just because the game is not out, but because no matter how the balance is, the game is going to be completely pointless PvP-wise if the networking sucks to the point where there's rubber bending and the host has a tremendous advantage, like what happened in the first game. Like, we all brushed off Lords of the Fallen because of that. It was pointless to even give feedback. And even when I got approached by the head of the studio to give them feedback for PvP, ultimately what I told them is that it was not worth it to balance the game around PvP because their networking was so bad that I told them I don't think they should have PvP in the first place because the networking is just not good enough. If they're not going to fix it, I feel like they should not have PvP in the first place. That's what I told them. And, you know, the gameplay guy that I was talking with agreed with me, and the head of the studio, you know, wanted PvP in his game. And to be honest, they could not remove PvP at that point because they had already advertised it. So even though it would have been the right decision, they could not do that because you've already advertised PvP. You can't, like, turn on a dime like that. You might get sued for false advertising, you know? So that was that. Now, it's the same situation for the next one. If they don't fix their networking again, then balancing is pointless. But if they do fix it, then we can start to have a discussion with them about balancing. And I dare say, I think there will be open-minded, at least to a certain extent. They didn't listen to everything Steel and I told them, but they still listen. They didn't listen to everything, but they still listen, so it's definitely going to be, like, I'll say that, it's going to be, if we get the networking to work, it's going to be so much easier to get feedback to the devs compared to FromSoft. Like, if you want to give feedback to FromSoft, like, you have to suck Bandai Namco's dick to get anything going, and, you know, if you make a vid that has too much traction and, you know, too many support tickets get sent to them, like, they complain about you and shit. And that actually happened. Like, you know, I had a feedback vid for FromSoft, and it was like my most not my most viewed vid, but my most well-received vid in terms of support and people that agreed with the feedback. It was my most well-received vid ever, and tons of people sent support tickets to Bandai regarding that feedback. And basically, one of the higher up at Bandai was in contact with Gabri, and he told Gabri to tell me to like tell people to stop sending them tickets because they were annoyed that they were getting like so many tickets. And so instead of having like a positive response to, like, you know, people care about this issue in your video game, you just want to have them shut up, basically. So, like, already, like, it's hard to get feedback across to FromSoft, even if you go the extra mile to, like, translate a vid to Japanese, like, to get your point across. And so, going back to Lords of the Fallen, you're not gonna have that issue with that. The devs are very approachable, they're very open-minded, they still do their thing, they'll listen to you, they might not do what you tell them, but they'll still listen. They'll have your ear. So at least there's that. So for my part, all I'm hoping for now is that they have fixed the networking problem that was present in the first game, because it is a difficult problem to solve. Like, it's not like, oh, you do that, fix that. No. Like, it's a very difficult programming issue. And when I say programming issue, I mean, like, you need a networking engineer to set this up properly. That's what I mean. Like, you need someone that's extremely intelligent and good at what they're doing in order to set this up so that it works correctly. So it's not something that's easy to do, basically. So you can't expect that it's going to happen, but you can hope that it's going to happen. Alright, we finally got an invasion. Got 2 people in here. Alright, buddy. Wanna lance with me? Oh, that was the host? I thought this guy was the host. I don't know why. But with that being said, again, Lords of the Fallen 2, I didn't particularly enjoy the PvE either. And so, as far as PvE is concerned, I'm very optimistic about the PvE in the second one. I think it's going to be a lot better from what I'm seeing in the trailer. Like even if I don't enjoy the PvP, I might enjoy the PvE this time around. So, at least there's that. Could be bad, you know, it could be bad still. I didn't like the first one. I might not like the second one either. But because it looks better than the first one, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, absolutely, Firekeeper. We had this discussion with the head of the studio. We already had this discussion with him back when Steel and I tested the first game. You know, like, ultimately, like, if you really want to put words into what their issue was, is that everything was host authoritative, where it needed to be client authoritative sometimes. At least that's the bare minimum they need to do. Like, the best case scenario is actually a true peer-to-peer here, but they're not going to do that because, like you said, it's a lot of time investment, meaning cost. This guy does not care. Wait. That's lag again. This guy does not give a shit. Rare fucking well-timed backstep. You guys saw that? It's almost like a flex. That backstep was beautiful. You rarely see that. Alright guys, I'm gonna do a last invasion and then I'm gonna call it after that. Setting up servers is already costly. Yeah, that's why you don't that's why we did not tell them to host servers. Like, you have to understand, they know it. Like, we know it. We all know that servers are costly. It is not the solution. The way they have it set up is when you have, like, host authoritative, that means that the host of the world, in the case of these games, basically is the server. And everything happens, the reality happens on their screen. And then you have a delayed reality for everyone else. That's how the first Lords of the Fallen basically worked. And they, like, you know, that's how it launched. And they made some improvement afterward as the game came along, but it never was fully like client authoritative, meaning that even though the host of the world is the server, like the clients don't dictate what happens to other players and to the world, like over the host, which is ultimately their issue. Peer-to-peer is ultimately like the ultimate, everyone decides for themselves, and it doesn't have the like a confirmation for what happens on screen doesn't have to go through anyone, because it goes directly to the players concerned. And so it's basically like, okay, I hit them on my screen, I'm sending them the data that I hit them on my screen, and so they receive that data. Did I hit them on their screen? If I did, then, you know, then the hits come through. That's what happens. So the data only travels once directly to the player concerned. And so you really limit the latency that way. Whereas with the way they had it, it's like, okay, I hit them on my screen, and then I send that data to the host. Did I hit them on the host screen? If not, then just too bad. But the issue comes where the host hit me on their screen. Nothing is sent to me to confirm that. So the host always gets a crystal clear, perfect connection, whereas the clients always get a laggy and latent connection. That's an issue. That was how Lords of the Fallen came out, the first one. That's a problem. You can't have a PvP game like that. Not this type of game, at least. And so what they should be doing now, which is not a peer-to-peer but a workaround. Okay, there's a few of them here. I don't know if we have a teammate. But what they should be doing now instead is basically to is that a teammate here? Yeah, it is a teammate. What they should be doing now is have the information be confirmed by the clients for certain actions, but I'm not going to go into details right now. Let's just fight them. I'm not really sure what the red is doing. All right. Seems like I have a good connection to this person, which rarely happens nowadays. That sucks for him. That was unintentional. Yeah, that was unintentional. Let's kill the red first. Or fuck it, well, we're gonna kill the host. Let's get this over with. Guy's lagging. Constant skips is going to make it so I might get clipped by some of his attack, even though they're not well timed. Okay, let's go against the host before my physic runs out. He did not care there. Alright, well, I guess that was it for today. Alright, guys. Thanks everyone again for participating and coming by the stream. Really do appreciate it. You know, fun little stream today. 3-hour mark. I don't know if it was you, Will, who asked me the other day, like, you know, what happened to Deathless. Well, like, for instance, because you mentioned it the other day, today was Deathless. Nothing special, you know, like long stretches without invasions, but it's not worth mentioning anymore. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but it's just, it is what it is. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for coming by again. Really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Let's see who we can raid. Okay. We got Owen. Let's raid Owen. Oh, Nash is here playing Neo, though. You know what? Let me raid my good friend Nash, which I have not seen in a little while, so let's see what Nash is doing on Neo, guys. All right, take care, everyone.